The Sims 4 Adventure Awaits expansion pack launches early in October, yet some Simmers, despite thinking this actually looks promising in terms of gameplay, are pretty hesitant to buy this new DLC because of the bugs and broken gameplay they are facing. As noted by this comment in particular, the new upcoming expansion pack is looking pretty awesome. I really like the ideas put behind it, but I cannot play the game. You guys come up with some pretty good expansions. Every single expansion from Love Strike to the most recent had some pretty amazing content, but you are ruining it by not putting more effort into fixing it. Now, they were talking about a specific bug, which we will get into in this video, but the point is, not everybody is not buying Sims 4 because they hate the game or think it's terrible. In fact, that person actually felt more optimistic about some of the packs than I do. So today, what I want to do is talk about the top reported bugs right now for Sims 4. Now, please note these are the top reported bugs according to the EA help forums, and the reason I am reporting on the top reported bugs is so you are aware on what is rising to the top. After all, they have said so many times that they supposedly prioritize bugs that are in the top list. And so, if you have a bug that is not in the top list, please keep that in mind. But if you do recognize any of these bugs, I have a few workarounds and mostly just bad news. So let's get right into it because I want to know what people are most experiencing in the game, at least according to the help forums, and maybe it will make us think about how some bugs maybe are being underreported. Now, just one disclaimer, please note this is not going to cover every single bug in Sims 4. If it did, it would be the world's longest video probably ever on YouTube. And beyond that, also, it does not cover all the new bugs with the base game update if there are any. Instead, I want to focus on what is being most reported and think about how we can get some other bugs rising to the top. So here we are, the main event, the popular top 10 as of September 21st. And we will be going into detail for at least some of these. The number one is photos and paintings turning black or blank. Unfortunately, photos and paintings turning black or blank, I don't think this is new whatsoever, and this is one of those bugs I have seen resurface before, so that is definitely disheartening. In addition, there's also severe lag after 1 hour of gameplay, which requires a restart. All Sims, including adults, teens, and children, are trying to play hooky from work and school. Mixologists behind the bar is not tending it. Random Milestone moodlets, children are not inheriting their parents' nose or mouth, which I admit I probably would not have caught. Sims wearing default underwear when naked, eyes and eyelid issues, which we definitely will get into, no promotions and getting raises instead, and of course Sims standing around instead of taking care of infants. In addition, there also are some bugs with multiple causes. Now, these bugs with multiple causes concern me the most because frankly I do not think they will be fixed. The more multiple reasons something happens, the less likely it is going to get fixed, and the more likely it is more systemic. Also, some of these are things I have heard about so many years. For example, plants reverting to dirt piles is a really old one, probably since Seasons even came out. And there also, of course, is the issue of Sims invading homes. Now again, I will say some of these have supposedly been fixed in the past and popped back up, or maybe they were just not fully fixed and it's really hard to say. But these are the top popular bugs right now, and again, that doesn't mean there aren't tons of other things going on, that just means this is what is rising to the top. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get into some fun details, shall we? Now, I have bad news and good news about the photo issue. The good news is you can take steps to make sure your photos are safe, and the bad news is the photos get removed from your save with this bug, and there is no way to recover them except for loading a backup. In other words, even if Maxis fixes this bug, you will not have those photos ever again. And honestly, this really reminds me of the corrupted save issue. If you have already lost your photos, they are pretty much gone for good, so always make backups. So to make sure your photos are safe, if you take photos you really care about, put them in a room and upload them to the gallery. They should stay safe if you upload them to the gallery, even though there are mixed reports for this. After you took the photos you really care about, save your game. It looks like the pictures aren't properly saved to your game if you click save and exit. Click save first and then exit without saving. Honestly, this just sounds like madness to go through all these steps just to keep your photos safe. Luckily, I don't really care about my photos, but honestly, that is probably not normal. Most people do care about their photos, and this is just crazy that once you lose them, they are just gone for good. So definitely keep these steps in mind because I think these could be helpful. And I'm not saying it's a solution, it's not, but at least you could keep your photos photos safe. And next up, if that wasn't fun enough, we also have to talk about lag and performance issues. As this person notes, after around 30 minutes, the menus start to feel slower. And after an hour, the game becomes very laggy. Opening the needs panel takes a few seconds. Build and buy mode freezes for 5 to 6 seconds before opening. The eyedropper tool has a delay of around 2 seconds. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty impressed that this person actually timed this. And the user interface and general interactions become very sluggish. The only fix is to completely restart the game. After relaunch, the game is smooth again, only for a time of 30 to 60 minutes. They say it is not a hardware issue because their PC setup meets the requirements. They do note they tend to play on the fastest speed. Now, playing on the fastest speed could be an issue, but realistically, it really shouldn't. In an hour of real-time gameplay, they can go for 10 to 14 Sims days. It seems like the game is slowly filling up memory or cache that never clears out unless they restart. Of course, I do always recommend clearing your cache files yourself, using your save files as much as possible, and this is also because of the ongoing corruption issue. I'm not saying this should be necessary, I'm not saying this is good, I'm just saying the smaller your save file, the less likely you are to run into these issues. Honestly, again, I am a little skeptical this is going to be fixed. This is going to be so dependent on your platform, probably the packs you own, your save files, etc. But this is something that is definitely being highly reported. We do know the Sims team is supposedly doing a memory boost feature, but that is only planned for Windows, and I have no idea if it's actually going to solve anything. And honestly, somewhat echoing my thoughts, this person says it sounds like a memory leak for the game itself. Wonder if they can even fix it. And some console players are also experiencing the same issue. So it's not PC specific, unfortunately, and lag is very real in Sims 4. As I've noted many times, lag is complex and it does occur for many reasons. I actually used to have quite a bit of lag in my game, and they addressed some kind of simulation lag in a patch right before my wedding disasters. And at the same time, some teens and adults just don't want any responsibility. Adults, teens, and children at school or work during lot reload are prompting them all just to come home, basically skipping work and school. This has been going on for quite some time as well. Some people are reporting this happened in the July update, but I wouldn't be surprised if this happened as far back as when high school years came out. As this user notes, this also happened to me. My sim was working out at the gym and then they went to work, but since I only have one sim, I was teleported to the house. My sim was back immediately, only gaining 6 simoleons. In addition, this problem is also occurring on console, so we can roll out any mods or CC. And much in the same vein, there are mixologists just not doing their job. Mixologists behind bar not tending it, unavailable for orders. Since the patch in February of 2025, I've noticed mixologists aren't readily interactive in community lots. The mixologists won't take orders despite being flagged as a service sim. After a few sim hours, the bugged mixologist might get a thought balloon with the bar inside and resume their function, but more often than not, they'll simply stay stuck. The workaround is just to use reset sim on the mixologist. However, it's pretty obnoxious. And again, this is one of those issues I swear I've seen time and time again. It is not new whatsoever. Even if people are just experiencing it now, it is a bug that is popping up again and again, which this is why I'm concerned about Sims 4. My biggest concern about Sims 4 isn't any one bug except for corruption. My biggest concern is that there are old bugs that just keep resurfacing. Are we actually getting to the root of issues, or are we just doing superficial fixes? It's really hard to say because anytime you mess with code, things can happen. And though I will argue growing together is a strong pack, unfortunately milestone issues still happen. There are random milestone moodlets. Both adults have milestone moodlets but never experience these milestones. One has the sting of rejection, the other has hated and sad about it and bladder blunder. They touch both their milestone panels and neither of milestones associated with these moodlets. Sting of rejection is a moodlet so many Sims are getting for no apparent reason. Again, this is one of those issues where I love the idea and concept of milestones in so many systems in Sims 4. However, unfortunately, so many of them are buggy and need to be revisited. For Create a Sim, there are issues with genetics. I will say and admit that issues with genetics are not something I would pick up on easily, but that doesn't mean it's not a genuine issue. This genetics bug comes from 7 months ago. Children will not inherit their parents' nose or mouth. If I mold a Sim in a certain mouth and nose shape, then they are not inherited correctly. correctly, and they never are. It's as if these specific sliders are not taken into account for inheritance. I stand corrected, this person says this bug has been around since 2015, so basically since Sims 4 came out. If it actually has been around for a decade, that is absolutely wild. That makes me wonder, again, has it ever been addressed at all, or has it really been in the game for 10 years? I could see potentially it's harder to flag because it is so much subjective on what a sim should look like, but there are tons of people reporting it, and so hopefully the team will finally address it. This feels like an issue that actually could be resolved. However, unfortunately, we're not done in Create a Sim just yet. Another Create a Sim issue, which started about 7 months ago, is the eyes and eyelid issue. Now, the last patch did do a partial fix, and when I say partial, I mean partial. It is not fully fixed. The original report reads, "Since my bug report has been archived and lost in a deep mountain, I restarted a new one with updated resources." They did also test this with and without mods and on a clean save, and it occurs all the time. Supposedly, the eyelids bug in Sims 4 happened with the Love Struck patch. The animations are off, making eyes look creepy when Sims look down or close their eyes, as the lower eyelids barely move. It impacts all animations, even vanilla ones, and persists with or without mods. This next issue was supposedly connected to the entrepreneur trait, or so I thought. Unfortunately, despite no promotions and getting a raise instead being connected to the entrepreneur trait, some people are reporting this happens even without that trait. If a bug report does say needs info, that means they want more of your save files. This does occur on both PC and also on console. I play Xbox and this problem is getting mad raises but cannot get promoted. My performance stays at average even if doing the daily tasks. And unfortunately, these are pretty new reports. These new reports suggest that it still has not been fixed. Now, I am going to leave a link to these bug forums just in case you don't know where to find them. And yes, they do have a full list and thread for the more complex issues, such as the gardening issues. All in all, there are many people who are still interested in Sims 4. There are many people who even want to buy the new pack. However, adventure waits will have to wait for many people if they feel like they can't play their games. As a note, my game is just fine, some smaller issues, but that doesn't mean people aren't experiencing genuine issues. What do you think in the comments below? What bugs have you experienced on this list, if any? As always, please take care, and I'll see you in the next video.